So welcome to the show, and today I would like to talk to you guys about a potential future Nintendo Direct. So it's been a good while since we got one. I believe I want to say maybe a year now. I think the last one came January 2020. And I've been seeing a lot of stuff on the web lately where people are saying, oh, with the release of Bowser's Fury info and all that jazz, and we're possibly never getting another Nintendo Direct again. I don't think that's the case whatsoever. I think the reason why Nintendo put that out is because the Direct that we are going to be getting is going to be more of a Direct mini and possibly closer to a partner showcase in a way, not fully a showcase. I think Nintendo will put in their own sprinklings of what they might possibly be having coming out, probably more April, May, June, somewhere in that neighborhood. But I do believe we are getting a Nintendo Direct probably within the next 2 weeks, if I had to venture a guess. And I mostly say this because, one, we have the Switch eShop sale going on right now, which to me seemed a little odd. Now, I'm currently going back to school, I'm studying marketing, and one thing you learn in marketing is that, sales and whatnot, promotions are ways to really help people get interested in your brand. I think this sale, the Celebrate New Year's sale, 2 weeks after New Year's Day, I think they're mostly doing this to get a lot of us who have been around with the Switch for much longer than just recently getting one this Christmas to effectively get us back onto the Switch, getting us playing the Switch again. Because apart from a few games that came out last year, like Xenoblade Chronicles, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, that was pretty good. If you haven't picked it up, you should look into it. Some 2K games, the Mario 3D All-Stars. Other than that, it was a pretty dry year. So, a lot of people who maybe have other consoles like PlayStation, Xbox, PC, what have you, were probably checking out a bunch of the other games that are coming in and maybe not playing the Switch as much. So I think the reason for this sale is to get those people, drawing them back in to the Switch. And it just seemed odd to me because it said the sale ends on January 24th. So if I had to venture a guess, I looked at my calendar, I think the latest we will see a new Nintendo Direct is probably going to be the 27th, as they tend to release them on a Wednesday. Lately the times have been varied. I know it used to be 5:30. So now we could be looking at, I don't know, freaking 6 a.m. in the morning. Shit, I'll just watch the re-record whenever I get my lazy ass out of bed. But as for what kind of Nintendo Direct we could potentially be looking at, I think the reason why they are releasing this information on Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury is simply because this is probably going to be more along the lines of a mini Direct, a partner showcase. And, I realize that can kind of be like, oh God, here we go again. Because the last two that we got from the company really weren't all that great. I mean, the only one that kind of stuck with me was the Shin Megami Tensei one. And that's only because I've gotten into the Persona franchise over the last couple of years. Never played Shin Megami Tensei. So I'm interested in checking those games out, saying that we're getting the remaster and 5 this year. Did get me excited, and other than that, I wasn't impressed with the other ones, with all the other stuff they were showing us. However, this one's going to be different, because if you actually look, Zelda and Samus aren't the only two people celebrating 35th anniversaries this year, or anniversaries period this year, because Persona, I actually saw this on a Player Essence episode, and apparently this is the 25th anniversary of the franchise. And that could mean big things. I know that in the video that I watched, they were discussing back in 2019 or 2020, sometime around the Game Awards, that, we'll plan on big things, once the 25th anniversary rolls around. And then I guess at this previous Game Awards, it was, oh, the 25th anniversary is gone. We have big things in mind, blah, 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 blah. And so I genuinely think that we could get some kind of announcement at this direct in regards to more Persona on Switch. Because you have to remember that Nintendo, I'm sorry, not Nintendo, Atlas had placed Persona 4 Golden on Steam. I believe it was back very, very late 2019, possibly early 2020. I think it was probably more 20. I think it was last year. It was closer to summer. And it sold gangbusters. I mean, it shot straight up to the top of the charts. And what was surprising to me was the fact that Atlas was surprised. I mean, like, they looked at the amount of revenue that they had brought in, and they were amazed. Oh my God, Persona will sell on something besides PlayStation. Because as you may or may not be aware of, Atlas only puts Persona games on PlayStation, but they don't seem, from what I hear from videos I've seen and what I've read, that they don't have any kind of exclusivity agreement with Sony. So for them to put it on Steam, and I heard that they had, I forget what the exact number of copies they sold on Steam was, but I remember doing the math, and it equated to about $10 million in revenue. $10 million in revenue. You know, and so when you take into consideration that this is just a port of a PS Vita game, we'll say it probably isn't anywhere near as much, but we'll say maybe 500,000. We'll just round it up to $1 million. We'll say it costs $1 million to port it to Steam, even though it probably wasn't anywhere near that. You're still looking at $9 million profit. So that's obviously enough for a company to look at and say, gee, maybe we should try putting this game somewhere else. So I think we could possibly see a Persona 4 Golden on Nintendo Switch as a sort of shadow drop. I think that would be much along the lines of what happened recently with the Monster Hunter Rise demo. I remember the service basically crashing. I tried downloading it. I kept clicking download, would not download, and I thought it was just me. If I did finally get to download, but I was listening to the Spawn cast yesterday, and I guess a bunch of other people they had on the show were saying, yeah, I was having the same problem. So I was kind of like, thank Christ, there was just Nintendo on the crappy servers. And then another anniversary that we're looking at this year is Dragon Quest. And so Dragon Quest XI is already on the Switch. The Definitive Edition initially released on the Switch. And it was such a great game. I fell in love with the franchise. I really want to go back and play more of these games. So I remember reading last night that they do have plans in mind for their 35th anniversary of Dragon Quest. I know I heard rumors of Dragon Quest Heroes finally being ported from Japan over to America, regionalized, whatever you would like to call it. And so I think this is potentially another big thing, and we could possibly see more shadow drops. We already got 1, 2, 3, and 11 on the Switch, so maybe they might, we'll put Dragon Quest 4 and 5 on there today, and we'll keep rolling it out, much along the lines of the Final Fantasy games when they started releasing those on the Switch. So I'm very excited at those prospects. And I do think that we could possibly see Bayonetta 3. Now, I know you're probably wondering, how that's being Nintendo exclusive, why would it be in a Nintendo partner showcase, or why am I even bothering watching this? But you have to remember Bayonetta 3 is being made by a third-party company, Platinum Games. Platinum Games can just go put their stuff wherever the hell they want. And it's the same thing. Atlas makes Shin Megami Tensei, and they got a full feature segment in their little Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase that they did over the summer. So I do think we could possibly, I'm only saying possibly right now because it's still very up in the air what's going on with this game, but we could get some form of information on Bayonetta 3. I think we are about due for at least a trailer because it's been 3 years now since you initially released the trailer. And so we are pretty much overdue for any kind of development update. They've been fairly tight-lipped on it, and I feel like that's not fair to the player base, quite frankly. At least with the Metroid Prime 4 situation, you were looking at with Metroid Prime 4, Nintendo at least was able to come out and say, hey, we need to restart development on this. And, it was met relatively positively. I know as much as it sucks, I'm very appreciative of the fact that Nintendo would actually take the time to come out and say, hey, it's not really living up to our expectations. We want this game to be excellent. We're going to have to restart the game, and it's essentially delayed indefinitely. And that I can respect. I think if Platinum, at some point came out and said, hey, everything's going well, we just gonna need some more time. If y'all can just hang on for us, please, we would greatly appreciate it. I think you could be met with the same, I think you'll potentially be met with the same reception. But in regards to when we are going to get a new full-fledged featured Nintendo Direct, that is honestly probably going to be a lot closer to Investors Day, March 31st. Because you have to remember, Super Mario is still celebrating his 35th anniversary right now. And with Zelda and Metroid celebrating their 35th anniversaries in 2021, they're probably going to wait till after March 31st when Mario's anniversary is going to end. And then they'll start ramping up for Zelda and Metroid. And so I think we're going to get, I don't know if I want to call them, I don't know if proper Nintendo Direct would be a good word. I think we will get either a Zelda and a Metroid Direct, or they could possibly lump it together and, Zelda and Samus celebrating, their 35th anniversary together. But I mean, with Zelda, they could freaking go anywhere with their anniversary. I mean, they have so many games out there, and there's unlimited amounts of possibility. No one would have ever thought we would have gotten another Hyrule Warriors, but we did. And no one would have thought a Hyrule Warriors game would have connected to a mainline series game, but it did. And I do think the one thing that I can say for certain with the 35th anniversary directs is that they are going to have their typical one more thing, and it's going to be Breath of the Wild 2 in 2021. I think that one is probably still going strong in development. I think it would be a bang-up way to finish off the year is by releasing Breath of the Wild 2, sequel to the biggest Zelda game, not just in scale, but in reception. I know that game is what has made me a Nintendo fanboy. The original. So that's probably about it, honestly. I know we are looking at Pokemon Direct next month, 27th. I think they did officially announce, the Pokemon Company officially announced that we'll be getting a Pokemon Direct next month. I know there was some stuff with Pokemon Legends, and Diamond and Pearl and all that, and they said we're going to be celebrating each month this year of the 25th anniversary of Pokemon by revisiting different regions, starting with the Galar region. But we'll get more information. We'll find out about that next month. But as for the current state of Nintendo Direct, the recent archiving of or rearranging of their Nintendo Direct archives and all that, I do feel we are going to get one this month at the latest, very early next month. But it is going to be I wouldn't say short, but it's going to be a mini. The mini is, just, it makes the most sense to me at this moment in time. I feel Nintendo does have a lot they want to announce right now. They just don't want to announce it yet. So anyways, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching the show, and I hope to see you guys again next time. Later.